What's up, guys? Welcome back to Sunday Sports Club podcast. Today, I have someone exciting on the show, Coach Sydney Carter, who's assistant coach of women's basketball at the University of Texas, former college basketball and WNBA star. She's known as best dressed of all men's and women's basketball. Coach Carter, welcome to Sunday Sports Club. I'm thrilled to have you here today. And I also want to give a big shout out to TJ Maxx for sponsoring this episode. This year, we've had the privilege of partnering with TJ Maxx, a brand that encourages women to be their full, multi-dimensional selves. Whether you're an aspiring athlete, an entrepreneur, student, wherever your passion lies, TJ Maxx encourages women everywhere to boldly embrace and express their most authentic selves. This type of multi-dimensionality is very on theme with what we're talking about today. Welcome to the show. I'm happy to have you on. I can't wait to talk with you. You are in the thick of basketball season currently.
Yeah.
So I have to ask, what are female coaches doing style-wise that the male coaches could never?
Ooh, good question. I think doing what women always do, owning who they are. Like there's been men in the past that have worn like bold clothing, but for the most part, they like to keep it really chill and I don't like the word plain, but just very even all the way down. But for myself, I can only kind of speak for myself because I know myself the best. I am just very bold in what I decide to wear. And I think that I stay true to who I am while also being able to express all the other parts of me because fashion is so much more than just like the clothes. It's my nails, it's my hair. There's so many different elements to fashion. And so, I'm owning it. Women are owning it and they are showing up authentically.
I definitely I feel a lot more confident when I have like my hair at least washed, blown out, nails are done. I'm like, I feel like I could be like my most confident self, but then you like, oh, like my hair, I'm like okay with it, or oh, I don't love this outfit. If I leave my house in an outfit I'm not confident in, and I'm like, oh gosh, this could ruin my day. But you
Well, like hair and like anything else, like if it's something that is like really important to you, but like hair can like make or break how you feel. So if you have like like if and when I'm planning outfits, if I have a certain outfit, I'm like, okay, an updo, like a half ponytail up, half down is gonna look better with this. So I gotta make sure my hair is straight. So like it's like down to the detail of how to really put stuff together to feel like your best self.
Absolutely. I feel like I have a whole vision and I need to execute it perfectly, and then I'm like, "Wait, okay, I'm
Hmm.
feeling good." Well, speaking of confidence, well, you look so confident walking onto a basketball court. I could never. But how did you
Thank
find
you.
yourself getting to that place?
It took a while. Like I always tell people like I'm human. I have days where I don't feel my best. Like I'm gonna be honest, the very first game of the season this year, I didn't feel my best. And so, I had an outfit in mind. The outfit didn't work out. I had to call an audible. And so I wasn't like confident and that my assistant was like having to deal with me like freaking out because I'm not feeling myself. But it took me a while. I wasn't always like this. Like I have a big family. I have four sisters, two brothers, and I used to like struggle with like my sisters being like more girly than me when I was younger because I love sports. So I was like more on the tomboyish side. I love to, I would go home or I would go to school with my hair straight and then I'd come home with an afro. And my mom's like, "Oh my gosh, like this is my rough kid." But I used to think my sisters were prettier than me because of that. And so as time went on, I realized my mom would have some talks with me and she would tell me the importance of self-talk and just understanding that I have been uniquely made and I should be proud of that. And so I give a lot of credit to my mom because she kind of helped me along that journey. And I think even through college, like we all have insecurities, especially women. Like we just put so much pressure on ourselves to look perfect, be perfect. Like we just have that thing about us. And so it took some time, but for me now, I think my key ingredient is self-talk. Like I said, like I look in the mirror before games and I'm like, you're her, you are ready for this, you have prepared. Basketball wise, you are ready. Fashion wise, girl, you know, you got it. Like, this is what you do. And so, I mean, I even talk to my dog in the mirror. Like, I tell her she's beautiful, she's talented, she's smart. She has no idea what I'm saying, but that's the importance of self-talk for me. So it was a process. Um,
Mhm.
but I have hopefully I have perfected it. There's still days like I said, I'm still human, but
Mhm.
yeah, I gotta tell myself so I can believe it.
As a mom of a daughter, I've learned, like, the way I talk about myself and other women, like, she's listening, and I recently just started the affirmations in the mirror, like, "I am pretty, I am strong,"
Hmm.
and it's just so good to hear that, like, you gained, like, a sort of confidence from your mom, and I also feel like you've gained confidence, like, in your basketball career and now, coaching and fashion. So, how has basketball shaped who you are personally?
Well, I think basketball put me into a space where I had to be confident because as a player, if you're not confident, you can't perform your best. And so, so many things from that basketball taught me, I have used in real life. It's taught me, you know, the confidence piece. It's taught me discipline, work ethic. Like it's taught me so many things. And so, especially as a coach now, like I try to focus on, and I think it's another thing about just showing up confidently. Like my players see that. And so I want them to, you know, like my whole thing is representation matters. So if they can see it, they know it's possible, and then beyond is possible. So just continuing my confidence, hopefully it continues to help, you know, young women break barriers. But, um, you know, I think that that's what I take from basketball is I was a confident player, so why not be a confident person, like, in my real life, and don't make it just something that has to do with sports, like, confidence is how you see it and how you say it, um, and so that's what I live by.
Yeah, my husband speaks all the time about just him being a professional athlete and even college athletes. I think sports contributes a lot to a person, like their work ethic and determination. And he jokes all the time. He's like, I love working with people who were former athletes because like they're always on
Mhm.
time. And I
They
was
get
like,
it, they just
that's
get it.
no, I love that. And it's crazy because you've gotten criticism for your on the court on the court outfits. So how did you go from being a star athlete from a young age influence how you react to like labels and criticism? Like how do you react to all of that?
Well, I think the easy way is to feed into negativity. Um, so, you know, as a player, you get judged immediately off of you have a good game one day, you have a bad game the next, and all of a sudden you're not good enough or shouldn't be playing, you know, all those things. And so you build up this tolerance, at least for me, to shut things out. And you just know, like I have to listen to how I have prepared myself.
Mhm.
Have I put the work in? If the answer is yes, then I don't need to listen to outside noise. And so that's the same thing with the criticism that I faced and that I still face today. You know, I choose to tune out the negativity of that,
Mhm.
and I refuse to let people label me as anything other than what I believe of myself. Like I am so multidimensional. So many people have a hard time saying that word, by the way, multidimensionality.
I kind of have a
Um,
hard time.
I think I use it so much, it comes out naturally.
I
But
love
I
that.
refuse to let people put me in a box with my labels. I don't have a box. Every day
Mhm.
I'm adding to who I am as a person. Like, you know, one day I was about to moderate a panel. I had never been a moderator before. Add that to my list. Now I'm a dog mom. I'm a coach. You know, there's so many things that I am. So if I believe those things and those are the labels that I put on myself, I do not have to be subject to the labels that people put on me, whether they're true or not. I get to choose my own and I get to live by those. and I
Mhm.
can continue to kick down the doors in that box that people want. I just think that constantly, we're women in general, are just constantly shattering the glass ceiling that people are trying to put on us. We've been So many people are always trying to put a label on somebody. You can't. I think one of the main ones I hear is, I see her in her clothes, but are they winning? You can't
Mhm.
put me in that type of box. And so
Absolutely.
that has zero correlation as well, but I take it. I see it sometimes. Most times I don't. I have my own methods for my healthy mindset, to keep a healthy mindset, but I create my own labels and I live by those.
Absolutely, and I applaud you for that because I know sometimes shutting out the hate can be, a lot, and, it's hard to, like, shut out the noise, especially because I feel like sometimes the negative noise can be louder than the positive
Loud.
noise. I know, I'm like, "Please," but, yeah, I have you ever thought, like, "Oh, I need to, like, cool down my outfits a little bit," or, like, have you ever had, like, the thought to, like, maybe not dress so loud? I mean, not like you dress loud, you dress, like, fashionable, and I don't know why
Mhm.
people are intimidated by that, but have you ever thought, like, "Oh, maybe I should change it up?"
I think I'd be lying if I said no, but I think it comes in terms of me just thinking of, just how I'm shaped and all those other things. Like, I think about how I want to present myself on a certain day.
Mhm,
So, I think it comes from, like, okay, well, I wore a dress this game, so I want to wear a suit this game. Like, I like showing off my variety and my range. And so I think it comes in terms of that, but it's never comes in terms of, so many people have so many negative things to say about me. Maybe I should tone it down. Maybe I should go to the level they want me to. I've never had that because I feel like I am bringing so much more positivity to the table than what the negativity is saying. And people
mhm,
are always going to try to find something wrong with anything somebody is doing. And so, it's the times that I see little girls copying my outfits, wearing their version of the outfits that I'm wearing, or you see the comments of, I'm so glad my young daughter or my young son have someone to look up to that looks like them. Those are the things that I choose to hang on to. And so I think it's just a choice for me. I
mhm,
literally wake up every day and I say, I'm going to choose to make me happy. So what
mhm.
does that look like every day? And so, yeah, it's people. I will never allow someone else to dim my light. If it's gonna get dimmed, it's gonna be from me and me only.
I feel like sports can sometimes be like old school or old fashioned. And I think that when anybody sees somebody going outside of like what their quote unquote norm is,
Mhm.
I think it might be intimidating to them. But I think that, like you said, like young girls, young boys, anybody can look up to you and be like, oh, wow, like look at her. She's like into fashion, but also into sports. Like you don't have to be in this box that people create. And I think it's just one of the, a challenge or a challenging moment, people criticizing you. But I applaud you for like being that person that's like, no, I'm going to step out of the box. Like I'm going to make my own box. And you've had such a long basketball career from college to the WNBA, international career. So, what was the most challenging moment that taught you the most?
Ooh. Um, I think just handling adversity in general. When you're in the WNBA, nothing is promised. It is very up and down, especially if you're not like one of the star players. And I was never a star player in the WNBA. So I got told no so many times. And I got told no for some overseas jobs so many times. And so I think the toughest thing was learning how to respond, control what I can control, and then still in that same breath perform at my highest, even when I dealt with so many no's and so many lows. How can I continue to pick myself up and keep going and know what I bring to the table, know my worth? That was really tough for me because as somebody coming out of college and you're, one of the best players on your team, you're used to so much success. So
Mhm.
when failure comes, it's like, oh my God, what do I do? Um, and, on top of it being overseas and there's language barriers, there's food, you miss your family, there's so many different things. How do you deal with your team not winning or you having to look over your shoulder because maybe your team is shopping for other players? Like there's so many different things you think about. And so I think I just learned how to truly respond to hard situations by understanding that I am good enough to play basketball at a high level. Um, I am my dreams are not too big for me to reach. This team, I am good enough to play on this team with these players. And so that was really hard for me. And after it took me about 3 or 4 years until I really, really got it. And I played in the WNBA for 4 years. And then after that, I decided. So it was about halfway through. It took me about halfway through my career to really get it. But
Mhm.
I got it at some point.
And I feel like fashion almost gives you this, like, newfound confidence as a coach even, like, I feel like that's another, like, different area that might be new. Do you feel like there were challenging moments, like, becoming a coach after being a player?
Yeah, because you deal with having basketball and being a basketball player for your entire life. And when you don't have it anymore, I am like one of the most competitive people you will ever meet. Okay. I will speed walk to beat you to the car. Okay. Like it's serious for me. And so it's channeling that competitive spirit in another way, as not as a player. And that was hard. That was challenging for me, but it also makes it easy for me as a coach because I will go and do whatever it takes to make sure I am prepared and have my players prepared to win. And so basketball season, I become very obsessive with watching film, studying other teams. Like it's scary, Allison. You do not want to see me on a day I am preparing for a game. I am not nice. But that that tied into just like making sure, like I think my fashion ties into that because I know when I look my best, I know that I've done my best to
Mhm.
prepare for the game itself and then the other part of the game, what's happening in the game, what's happening after the game. So yeah, my competitiveness
I
I
love
think
that.
has really made me passionate, really, really passionate about coaching because I love the game and I love preparing to win.
Totally, and I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I have to know how are you picking out your game day outfits? Is it, like, a few weeks in advance? Is it the day before? Like, are you prepping for, like, coaching a basketball game like you're prepping for your outfits, or is it a little bit more like, "Oh, like, I'll think about it, like, when the day comes?"
So in the previous years, before this year, because I just got a personal assistant this year, thank goodness for her. She keeps my life in check now. But before, it was almost most of the time it was game day decisions. Like I would wake up and I would see, okay, I'm feeling this way. We'll grab this. We'll go. But the process is kind of like I do a lot of my shopping around the summertime. And then there's a couple of times where I will buy something from years ago and I didn't wear it during the season. I'm like, I guess I'll pull that out. So now it's like planned out. My assistant has everything in line. She puts the pictures together because, like, now I have to have some type of structure because it's just what my life it requires now is a lot of structure because I'm doing so many different things. But now it's weeks in advance, and then some games have like themes, and so I'll find that
Mhm.
outfit in the summertime. I always know there's a pink game, so I always have something pink for that. There's always a children's game, so I like to have something fun and like nice. It's that game's usually at 11 o'clock, so something that doesn't take a lot of maintenance. And so yeah, it's definitely planned out now, weeks in advance. But
Yeah, and
before I was just winging it.
I love that though. I feel like you winging it, is almost like a form of self-expression, but now I feel like you really get to, like, dedicate some time and to be like, "Okay, really,
Mhm.
what am I zoning in on?" And, I mean, you look cute right now. So are you dressing up every day or just game days? Like, what does a lazy outfit day look like?
I'm definitely not dressing up every day, but I will say I do wear like my cute little like casual athleisure outfits to work. People are always like I coach in like a skirt. So I'll wear like a little
Love that.
tennis skirt and a cute little t-shirt. Um, so I'm like real cutesy with like my coaching outfits. So that's dressing up for me because I mean I work in a gym.
Mhm.
Um, but a lazy outfit is certainly like tights and a crew neck and a tennis shoe, and we call it a day, a ponytail, and see you later.
Absolutely. I feel like everybody has to have, like, their actual lazy day outfits. Like, if you're in a cute outfit all the time, I'm like, you need to go and get, like, a grow outfit or something. I mean, then again, a grow outfit can be cute too.
Yeah, my go-to this summer was I found this like one-piece romper at TJ Maxx, and I got it in like three different colors. I got it in black, olive, and white. And I wore that out and I just did like different things. Like I would tie like a crew neck around my neck and do like, like a preppy vibe. I would also tie it around my waist. Like I just figured out different ways to dress that up with the tennis shoe, and I wore it out.
I feel like there's ways to dress up or dress down anything.
For sure, like, you can put your own flair, like, I'm wearing a sweater now, but I just dressed it up and made it, like, preppy with a button up underneath, so
Yeah,
if
when
you
we're done
wanna
with this
do it,
podcast,
it's
you need to
possible.
give me some tips.
I got you, Allison. After this, we're gonna share secrets. I can give you a whole
Absolutely.
rundown. It'll be nice.
Perfect. And it also goes into the WNBA because the WNBA is I mean, they're known for very stylish tunnel outfits. So what kinds of
Mhm.
style do you see on players and, like, what does a good tunnel outfit do for, like, a player's mindset before a game?
Well, I think when you look good, you've heard it, when you look good, you feel good, and then you play good. And
Mhm.
so I think when the athlete comes through the tunnel and they're getting their picture taken and they're getting their poses down, like I just think that that's them really like that's the initial I'm tapping into this game right now. At least that's what I see when I see, somebody confidently posing in front of the camera. Like they know they've just put it on. They're ready to put that jersey on. Like it's go time. And so I think that's the first step to an athlete, like really getting their mind right. Like usually it's like music and clothes, those two
Mhm.
things like go hand in hand. Like you're probably listening to music when you're getting ready. You're probably looking in the mirror before you leave the house, like, yeah, this is the outfit. I got to make
Mhm.
sure I get pictures in this. And so that's the initial I'm locked in for an athlete.
Mhm. Absolutely, and I feel like music and fashion, I feel like those are, like, forms of self-expression, and they lead to
Hmm.
confidence, and the WNBA has blown up over the past year, so what about the league blowing up or, like, the current state of it is inspiring to you?
Well, I think when I see it, I'm so happy that it has continued to progress. When I was playing, we were not allowed to wear, like, really showcase, like, who we were through fashion. Like, it was very business casual, and you were looked at like that's not business casual. So it was very, like, fine lines you had to follow.
Mhm.
But the game itself, like, people are finally seeing how good the product is in women's basketball, and they're following their favorite college players to the WNBA to watch them play. But like you didn't see that a ton, when I was playing. And so it's kind of like, all right, your favorite player's gone to the WNBA, no one really watches it. We'll stay to college, and there's that. But like the product has always been good as far as players in the WNBA, so it's really, really nice that more eyes are seeing that and are enjoying it. And viewership's up. People are actually buying tickets, physical tickets, and going to games. And so when I see that, it's like the old school mindset. Like people are buying tickets. Like I can
Mhm.
remember my head coach at in college, him going to doorsteps and handing out physical tickets to get people to come to games. And so it's the nostalgia of that, of people having a physical ticket and people keeping those tickets. Like I went to a Caitlin Clark game, like, it's exciting for people now. So it's good for me to see because I saw where it used to be and I see where it's going, and you have expansion now, you have more teams coming. That means more jobs are out there for women that haven't been able to make teams before because there's so many limited spots. And so the game is in a really good place right now, and it's happy to see as a women's ex women's basketball player. I can
Yeah.
still play though. I might have to come out of retirement.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, I love seeing this shift and this like new viewership, and I love seeing it grow. And I'm sure as a coach, you're seeing like your athletes maybe see like find a new like found appreciation, like wow, like we're finally getting like the attention like we deserve, like we're like this is finally happening. So what are you learning from young athletes that you're coaching, and how are you trying to be a good role model for them?
I learn something every day, Allison, good and bad. um,
I can
but
imagine.
yeah, it's crazy. But I think the most important thing I'm learning from them is how to help young people go about living out their dreams. And it's not just as basketball players, but like they're seeing me juggle being a coach and an entrepreneur. And so we're in the age of NIL where it's a business. And so, you know, I'm teaching them so much about how to balance their time between being an athlete and an entrepreneur, in their own right with their business, building their brand. But I think I learned so many things too because then when they're asking me questions, if I don't have an answer, it's something that now I can look up. It's something that I can benefit from, and so I think we're both learning from each other on how to balance this life of being, building your own brand, how to build your brand, what you're putting out there, and then also making sure you're keeping the main thing, which is for me being a coach, for them being an athlete, and then how to continue to do that as you continue to live out your dreams. Is this something that is a career or is it a job?
Mhm.
What are your long term goals? And so we're all out here learning on the fly.
I love that, and I mean, you are such an incredible role model, not only, I mean, playing in the WNBA and internationally, but also in fashion and then entrepreneurially and, like, creating yourself as a brand in general. Who were people that you looked up to when you were younger?
Well, naturally, I looked up to my mom and my sisters because, like, my sister taught herself how to do her own hair. And I was like begging her to do mine because I didn't know how. My mom, I saw a picture of my mom wearing like high waist pants and a crew neck one day, and I was like, because she doesn't wear that stuff now, but I'm like, Mom, you were her back in the day. Like, this is a fit right here. You were getting fits off. But I think, it's just naturally you look up to them. Like I'm the fifth of seven kids. So there's
Wow.
three three sisters older than me. And
Mhm.
I got to watch them grow up. I was stealing their shoes and putting them in my backpack and wearing them to school. And then I would hurry up and take them off and try to replace them so they didn't know I wore them. So I got to see them naturally in their own little environments embrace themselves and be confident in themselves. And so they all played basketball, but what fueled me, I think, is I always wanted to be better than them at everything. Like, I wanted to be better dressed than them. I wanted my hair to look better. I wanted to be a better
Sisterhood.
basketball player. Yeah, like we were fighting all the time when we were kids because they were like, "You always have to be first." And I'm like, "Yeah, I do. So I'm gonna see what you're doing and I'm gonna try to do it better." So, I mean, they were great examples for me in everything.
That is all too real, like, the stealing clothes, shoes. I only had one older sister, so things were, I'm sure, tame in my house, at least more tame than in your house with you having 3 older sisters, that's I mean, then again, you had a nice selection of clothes and shoes to choose
I
from.
did. It was pure pandemonium in our house for sure. I tell my mom all the time, I have a dog and I'm like, it's chaotic with just the dog. I don't know how you did it with 7 kids. But I also used to steal my mom's clothes. Like I was wearing my mom's shoes with my uniform. We had uniform when I was in the 4th grade. I was wearing
Mhm.
my mom's shoes to school because I was trying to figure out how I could be different than everybody else.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool, and I feel like that's something fun, like, fashion allows you to do. Nobody in your house was safe, though. You were going in anybody's
Yeah.
closet.
Yeah, no one was exempt for getting their stuff taken and
Right.
snuck into my backpack.
This the dream to be a head coach in a pro league? Like, where do you wanna take your career? What do you wanna be known for?
I've never thought about going professional, but I definitely want to be a head coach in college one day. I want to be one of the best head coaches in women's basketball ever. Like we've talked about it. I want to be the best. I want to be first in everything. So naturally, I want to be one of the best. Um, I think if I had to give you my dream job, it's going back to my alma mater in A&M and
Mhm.
being a head coach there. I mean, a dream would be winning as a player and then going back and leading the team to a national championship as a head coach.
And looking good
I
doing it?
mean, I'm saying like let's just put it all together. But I think when you think of perfection, that's perfection. So yeah, I want to be a head coach. I want to be all the things that I am already along with being a head coach. Like I want to be a head coach. I want to be an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
I want to have my own clothing line. I want to have my own book. I want to have all the things. And so because I want to have them, I will have them.
Oh my gosh. I mean, you're literally such a great example of like multi-dimensional, like multifaceted. How has it felt making such a name for yourself in the basketball world, but also beyond the basketball world?
Well, obviously, it's been really fun for me. Like, I've always said, like, basketball has taken me so many places, and basketball started my journey that I'm on now. But I tell people I didn't even dream of the things that are happening in my life right now. I mean, basketball has me here with you today. We're talking basketball, we're talking fashion, and so it's just really been a dream, and I have to constantly, like, remind myself, like, take no day, no second for granted. Like, you are living such a blessed life, even in the midst of, any adversity, curveball that life throws, like, if God never does anything else for me, he's done enough. And that's how I really approach every day. So I am just happy that being myself has allowed me to truly take that and build it into a brand, and that brand is inspiring people to be themselves, to dress how they want to dress, to put their own labels on themselves, to show that so many different things are possible simultaneously. It's always what I've lived by. So I'm just happy that I'm the person that is getting to live out this life and people are getting to see it. And I'm able to use my platform to showcase who I've always been.
Mhm. Totally. And now that I have a daughter, I look at women like you and I'm so excited for her to grow up seeing women who can do not one thing, not two things, but like a variety of things and be successful and like truly just like follow whatever makes her happy and like no matter what it is, combining sports and fashion. Like I feel like that's something that 10 years ago people didn't really see. And so I'm loving
Hmm.
that so many women are helping break these barriers.
Yeah, I mean it's so great because there's there's so many seats at the table because everybody is different. So the table is as long as we want it to be.
Mhm.
You just want and I think where we have to continue to get better is just continuing for women to support women and understand that while we all are different, we all can learn something from each other, help each other. Like one of the biggest things about me is being able to consistently talk to other women and share how I've gotten to where I've gotten. Continue to uplift them, help them any way that I can in their journey. I'm super passionate about that because my team is full of women. My assistant's a woman. My manager is a woman. I'm a girl's girl, okay?
Mhm.
So I think that's one thing is just women continuing to support women, and we will continue to move the needle as far as we need to.
I am all for women supporting women. And it's been so nice talking to you. I mean, you're so impressive. And I love that my daughter can grow up looking at someone like you. And before we finish, I have a little rapid fire question. So we'll go through them
Okay?
quickly. Vintage jerseys or modern jerseys?
Vintage. I love nostalgia.
Sue Bird or Diana Taurasi?
Ooh, Sue Bird. She was a point guard, so was I.
Post game fancy dinner or late night drive through?
Late night drive through. We're in, we're out.
Literally in and out. Pre-game ritual or post-game celebration?
Post game celebration, because that means I've won a championship.
Absolutely. Sweatsuit or pantsuit?
Oh, Allison, how do you make me choose? Sweatsuit.
There we go. Elaborate handshake or basic high five?
Basic high five.
Cold plunge or hot tub for recovery?
Hot tub. I don't like being cold.
Me neither. Halftime in the locker room, would you have team pep talk or blasting a pump up song?
Halftime pep talk.
Okay. And there we have it.
Yeah.
I feel like some of those are a little controversial. I'm choosing the pump up song. I definitely am choosing the hot tub for sure.
Well, I like the song, but I need to get the corrections out. Like I need
Mhm.
to really like get them motivated and I'm a talker. So I
Mhm.
think my words are they can listen to that song another time before the game or something. I need your ears right now.
They can sing it in their head, okay? I have something
Yeah,
to say.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, well, it's been so nice talking to you. Where can the people find you?
I'm all over the place, okay? I am on Instagram. You get my Instagram is Coach Sid Carter for Coach Sid Carter. My Twitter is Sydney underscore Renee. My TikTok is Coach Sid Carter 4, I believe. If not, it's just Coach Sid Carter. Um, Threads is the same as Instagram. And then if you're coming to a game, the Moody Center is in Austin.
I love that. Oh my gosh. Well, it's so nice talking with you, not only about basketball, but also about fashion. You do it all.
Thank you, Allison. It was great. We're just two girls.
We're just two girls. All right, guys. See ya.